Good morning, everybody. Hi. Thank you for joining me this morning. I'm a little late. I'm very sorry for that. It's because we had some issues with our YouTube live. But anyhow, I'm very happy you guys are here. I'm here with Dr. Divya today, and together we hope that we are able to give you some insights on is it too late to fix my smile? That's the topic for today. Okay. It's a brand new year. It's something for you guys to have a brand new life, I would believe, and have some extra confidence that you did probably not have last year. This is the whole purpose of doing this. How late is it for us to fix my smile? That's our topic. Okay. So as we enter this new year, one of the things people always ask is, okay, I'm already so old. Do I need teeth? I've been told I have a lot of bone loss, and also I've not had teeth for so long. Is it even worth for me to improve my smile? Okay, these are things that people normally have these questions on in their heads, and then they'll want to fix it, but they never follow through with it, or they never do it because of all these barriers. So let's first look at some of the most common barriers that people have. The first barrier is fear of age. I am too old now. Is any of these treatments going to be successful? Okay. The other barrier is nobody wants to have pain, including me. Um, Although I do this every day in real life, I give anesthesia, I give them shots, I cut open teeth, and I take teeth out. I don't think I'll want to do any of this myself. But if I have no other choice, if it's a necessary treatment, then all of this doesn't matter. And then dentistry has changed significantly. It's not like the dentistry in the 1970s and 80s and 90s. There can be absolutely no pain from a simple filling to something as complicated as ripping your mouth completely open, doing a whole bunch of extractions, putting implants and putting bone in, and giving you teeth all in one day. You can walk out with still zero pain if it's done properly. So I don't want you to think fear of pain is really a barrier anymore, but I know it's one of the most common barriers. However, there's another barrier too, fear of cost. Okay, so everything is expensive in life. But the point is this though, because you don't do it today, don't expect or don't assume tomorrow it is going to be less expensive. It is going to be definitely more expensive, obviously. So fear of cost is an issue, I understand, but there are ways to overcome the fear of cost, which I will go over in a few minutes. Okay. And what if it's too late? I've been like this for the longest amount of time. Nothing's changed in my life. Why is it should change it now? That the change has to come from you. It can't come from me. It can't come from anybody else. You should want to fix your life. Otherwise, it's never going to work. Okay. Okay. So one of the important things is age a limiting factor. So to me, age is just a number. Okay. Anybody who wants to there's a saying that if you could dream it, you can have it. If you dream it, if you want to really have a beautiful smile, there's nothing stopping you from having that smile. You can absolutely have it. There's absolutely no reason not to have it. Okay. It's what you want. If you want to restore your confidence, and if you want to have a good healthy life, age should not matter to you. You can get it done anytime you want. Okay. I want to clarify some of the bone loss myths. People normally believe if you have a lot of bone loss, which you're probably being told by a dentist, oh, you can't have implants. You don't qualify for implants because you have no bone. That is just garbage. Okay. It doesn't matter at all anymore. If you do have bone loss, I'm sure it's a problem, but it's not impossible to fix that problem, which is why we are able to do that with some. Um, as far as you go to a specialist who's well trained with dental implants and can grow bone, or who can place implants very strategically in certain areas where there is bone, you can always have implants. That's why you need to go to a specialist. Not every dentist can place implants. You need to go to a guy who only does this for a living. Like our practice at Aesthetics Dental Spa, we do over 200 arches a year. That's just not normal. People maybe do one or two arches a year. We do 200 of those. So which makes us definitely a much more able team than a regular traditional dentist office you'll go to. Also, we use very advanced placement techniques. Most of our implants are digitally guided, meaning that we pretty much predict how you're going to look before we even start work on you. That's the kind of certainty you want when you're doing something like this. So again, this is why you just don't go to any dentist. You go to someone who's very well qualified to do this kind of procedure. And again, it doesn't matter how much bone loss you have, as long as we know where we're going to place your implants, it is absolutely going to work. Okay. So bone density is a very important thing. So Let's say if you don't have enough bone in certain areas, sure, I can look for other areas in your mouth where there is more bone, or I can increase the density by growing some extra bone. Growing the extra bone takes a little longer, but in the current circumstance, nobody wants to wait anymore. They want teeth the same day. So now I have to strategically place my implants. Again, I'll go over that in a few minutes. But so the bits of bone loss not does not exist anymore. Every person can get implants if they really want it. If the goal is to have a beautiful, healthy, nice smile, you should just get it done. Okay. Um, what if you did nothing? What does it cost? Does it cost you no money or does it cost you more money? Sure, you aren't paying any money to fix your mouth, so you think, oh, I'm not spending any money. No, it doesn't work like that. So, average 20% increase in costs every single time you just are procrastinating and not going through the treatment itself. Okay. There is also a 30% chance where patient will experience facial collapse. If you do not have teeth in your mouth, especially your front teeth, you're automatically going to have a sunken face and your lips are going to shrink inside and you will look at least 10 years older. Okay. 50% proportion of individuals report decline in nutrition due to dental issues. If you don't have teeth, you just cannot eat well. And if you cannot eat well, there are a lot of other things you're going to have. You're going to generally have other issues like GI issues and whole body issues. Here is a simple thing, it's right here in front of your face, your teeth. You don't handle it. The last thing you want to have is issues like GI, heart issues, and other things like diabetes, things which are much more expensive to correct, and your life completely changes when you have things like that. I also see this very, very often. One in every three people, they experience confidence loss. Imagine if you did not have any teeth. If you don't have any teeth, it's not the same. It's very, very hard for you to present yourself with anybody. Maybe just talking to your friends, your neighbors, your family, or hanging out in a party, or even at work. It gets very, very harder. So something that you might want to consider, at least to have a better healthy lifestyle and better confidence, people should definitely consider fixing their smile. And of course, I see this all the time. 100% every day of hesitation leads to missed opportunities in personal and professional life. If you don't have good teeth, you're going to be reluctant to go out and meet people. You may not have the girl that you want to meet, you won't be able to talk to her. The man you want to hang out with, you may not be comfortable doing that. At work, you're not comfortable doing a lot of tasks because you're missing teeth, you're shy, you're not confident, and makes all these other problems go away when you have a good smile or nice teeth. Okay, what having teeth really does for you. When you have teeth, obviously you have more career opportunities. You can make stronger first impressions. You are definitely more confident than the usual guy who's not so confident, who's missing a bunch of teeth in his mouth, or who's walking around with dentures which moving around. He's scared it's going to fall off while he's talking to people. So these are some basic reasons why having teeth is more important than not having teeth. Of course, the most important reason to have teeth is because you will have definitely better health, you will live longer, and your quality of life will be so much more better than a person who does not have teeth. Okay. This is something I figured out, I actually got from an economics article. So what I found was 10 to 15% of the people actually make more money if they are more attractive. And how do you gain attractiveness? It's simple. If you have a nice smile, you're automatically more enticing for people to talk to. Okay. I also noticed there are more qualified applicants when they have better teeth because they have nice, beautiful teeth. They can smile well, they can talk well, they're more confident about themselves. Okay. We also noticed that an average server who has a better smile makes $1,261 in tips in a year. That's pretty cool just because he has a nicer smile than someone who doesn't have good teeth or bad teeth or no teeth. Okay. And then 55% of the customers normally prefer to they walk in and talk to an attractive salesperson. Let's say if I went in Macy's, I'm actually looking at somebody who's smiling and inviting to answer my question, not someone who has their face down because they're not confident about themselves because they have teeth issues. So obviously all these are good reasons for someone to have teeth. Okay. Okay. This is a very crucial part. Okay, so understand, smile equals facial structure. Your smile completely governs your face. What I mean by it is your face and your smile have to go with each other. So when you go to a professional like me, just not any dentist, somebody who only does this for a living, so we actually look at your face, we measure your face, and then we manage and figure out how big and how tall and how wide your teeth has to be, how white it should be, how dark it can be. Like, there are a lot of little intricacies that we have to look at. And this is not something every dentist will know. You need to go to a specialist who specifically does this kind of dentistry. So, which is why I keep saying smile is very crucial for the face. And again, if you want to have something that's really nice and lasts you a long time, and you are going to be confident and happy about yourself, you want to go to the right kind of dentist, just not any dentist, these kind of things. Okay. So, and you don't have to believe, okay, implants are not for people who are old or people too young. It's not true. Okay. Whether it's implants or fixing your smile and your teeth, it can be done in various ages. So when you're 30, usually you're looking to look nice so you can get into a good job. You find some good, attractive people so you can mix with, and then eventually find someone you like and be with them forever. So obviously, if your teeth are not so great, you may want to consider doing something like cosmetic bonding and cosmetic veneers and stuff like that, maybe a few implants here and there. So this is normally happens in 30s. Okay. At 40 years of age, you probably have a job, you have a wife, you have a bunch of kids, but now you don't care about anything else, right? That's normally what happens. So life takes over you. Instead of being like that, when you actually do something about your teeth, you can change that person's life completely. Look at how his face was so sunken and so unhappy. And look at him. Nothing but just gave him some teeth. That's all I did. His face looks a lot more like, it looks different. You can just see from here. And again, 40 is not only like in people at 60. When she came to me, she was terrified about how she can have teeth, which is going to, she thought it's not possible, first of all. And she just said, do something simple to get this going for me. I said, no, no, listen, if you're going to do this, you're going to do this properly. Sure, she spent $65,000, but it was the best $65,000 she ever spent. Today, she's walking around, rollerblading everywhere and meeting so many new people, and her life has completely changed. And again, it's not only for people up to 60. What if I'm so old? Do I really need teeth? I don't even know how many years I'm going to live. It don't matter. This guy was 81 years old. He had no way to eat. He traveled from Buffalo, New York, just to come to me and to get teeth. He looks at least 15 years younger just because he has his teeth. Now he's able to eat his meat. He's able to eat his vegetables. He's able to bite apples. He can do whatever he wants. Okay. Whether he has 10 more years to live or 20 more years to live, I don't know, but he is going to enjoy every single minute of that life. So age to me really does not matter. And we treat people from 15 years of age all the way to 98. Our oldest patient who has implants is 98 years old, and he has a full set of teeth. Next question is, how fast can you do this for me, doctor? Okay, so I can give you teeth in one day. That doesn't mean you walk in tomorrow morning and say, give me teeth right now. It doesn't work like that, okay? So you come to the practice, I'm going to have to evaluate you. We're going to take some scans and all of that, and then we're going to plan a date for your procedure. That day, when we take your teeth out, put your implants in, that same day, we're going to give you teeth. If I don't have to do implants, if I have to just cosmetic dentistry, same way. It'll go through a set of, we'll go through some amount of evaluation and then molds and molds and scans, and then we'll go ahead and give you teeth. Dr. Divya, do you want to say something at all?
No, that's the commonly asked question that people come up with when I'm in the consult. They ask, can you get teeth in one day? Sometimes it takes a week. So I would like you to explain the procedure.
Okay, so let's assume that if you walk into the practice and then it's just not, you don't have just one or two teeth or just one arch. Like the entire mouth needs to be fixed. If your entire mouth needs to be fixed, then I'm going to need a lot more than one day to fix it. So usually what we do now is we will take your teeth out, we would do all the surgical work on the first day. We bring you back a week later and we give you a completed smile. Okay, that's how we do it. Okay, and then personalized timeline. If you are a busy person, let's say you have a full-time job and you don't have time to get off work, things like that, then what I would do is I would bring you on let's say in most of the offices, you would have to go only on a specific day for surgery. In our place, you don't have to do that. We could do that. I can bring you on a Thursday, I could bring you on a Friday, I could bring you on a Monday. It doesn't matter. But normally, in a case like that, if you have a very busy schedule, I'll bring you in on a Thursday. I will do the surgery on you. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you take off. Monday, you go back to work with a full set of teeth, and you should be fine. So we are able to personalize this based on your goals and what you want to achieve. Okay. Okay, big question. How can I afford this? Okay. Everybody wants to get this done for nothing. And a big question is, Dr. Divya, what is a common question you get?
Will my insurance pay for this?
Right. So I love the fact that the insurance is there to help you, but do not believe for one little second insurance is going to pay for a full mouth smile makeover for you. It's not happening. Okay. It doesn't happen for anyone, even if you have the best and the best and the best of insurances. There's a little difference between medical insurances and dental insurances. Let me explain that to you. Medical insurances, you will have a small deductible or a co-payment. Maybe it's $500, maybe it's $100. And if you have things like Medicaid, it's pretty much free. But what they will do is, and after that, everything else is covered in the hospital. But just imagine what happens in a hospital. You just go there back and forth 100 times. Can anything get done? Some people do have some problems and they get it done, but 90% of the time, you're just going back and forth to hospital. Dental is a little different though. For dental, the deductible is very, very small, but the maximum allowed amount is also very small, meaning the maximum they'll give you is $1,000 or $2,000, which is not going to fix your entire mouth. Maybe it'll fix a cleaning, a filling, a crown, but that's where it stops. It doesn't give you a full mouth of implants. Even if you have implant coverage, it is limited to one implant and that's it. And you can't have one implant fix your whole mouth. It doesn't work like that. Okay. So I don't want you to believe insurance is going to cover it. But again, I'm same note. Insurances are great. Let's use them for your cleaning. Let's use them for your extractions. Let's use them for other little things that your insurance will cover. And for the big procedure, you will have to find another way. What are some of the ways you find? The best way is if you have any savings. I don't expect you to walk around with $50,000, $60,000 cash. No one does. I don't do it either. Okay. The easiest way of doing it is to have some savings. 2,000 to 5,000 is a good amount of money in saving. Then I'm able to find you, or you can explore 14 different financing options that we can offer in our practice. Not everybody has so many financing options. They will have maybe a few here and there, but we can give you 14 different options. And some of them, even if you have very poor credit, I can still approve you, provided you have down payments. So if this is something that you've been looking into, but you're not getting the right help from anybody, something to look into why you should go to Aesthetic Sound Spa. Okay. Now, when I say $40,000, $30,000, people normally say, well, I can pay a down payment for my home, or I can buy a car. Sure, you can buy a car. Sure, you can put a down payment for your home, but it's not fixing the way you look. It's not giving you the smile you want. It's not giving you the jobs you want, or the opportunities you want, or a quality of life you want. So you have to look at what's important for you: a car or a nice, healthy smile with which you can make more money, and then you can buy your car, your home, and everything else. So it's kind of important how you make which one a bigger priority. To me, obviously, your health is a bigger priority than a car and a home. Again, I don't know what it is for you, but something that everybody should look into is, okay, let me first eat well, let me live happy, let me be comfortable. Then think of anything that you want to probably get. Okay. And this is what happens when you actually take that extra step to fix your mouth. This guy, when he walked into my office, he's been a patient of mine for a very, very long time. He told me when he was 19 years old, they put him in a chair in a hospital. They just wrapped him all up and they took out all of his teeth and gave him a set of dentures. This was when he was 19 years old. That's sad. Okay. Obviously, he didn't have any say. His sister made him do it and he just did it. And after that, he was walking and living with dentures. And he had been to multiple dentists, and the dentist said, oh, no, you can't have dental implants, until he came to me. His life completely changed. He has a denture he's holding in his hand, which was a denture he was using for like 10 years. Okay. Now he has a full set of teeth in the top and the bottom, which are completely permanent. He eats and chews and lives he's retired now. He's a very happy man. He's had almost no problems. Whatever I've done for him is almost 10 years old, and he's completely fine. So again, implants last very, very well if it's done properly. Another question we always have is, what if I don't have bone? I've just proved to you already, all these people had problems. They've not had teeth for a long time, yet I'm able to give them teeth even if they didn't have any bone. Um, Obviously, I need some form of bone in order for the implants to anchor. But just because one guy said you don't have bone, it doesn't mean you don't have bone. You just have to go to a guy who knows what he's doing and he will find bone. If I can place implants very strategically or I can grow bone, I can always get you implants. For example, in the very back of the top teeth, you have something called a sinus membrane, which is nothing but an empty cavity. In that empty cavity, you can't put implants in. Obviously, think like this: if I took a screw or a nail and I put it on behind a sheetrock, and you hung a big photo frame, that photo frame is not going to last. It's going to just drop down on the floor because it's really not anchored well. But you take that same nail and now you stick it into a beam, and then you hang a cabinet and you put 200 pounds of weight. It's going to be perfectly fine because the cabinet is being held by the nail, which is held by the beam of bone in the beam. The beam is very, very similar to the bone that we're talking about right now. So if I have bone instead of empty airspace, it is going to work. If I don't have bone, I move the empty airspace, fill some bone in. Now I can make anything work. Okay. Obviously, this takes a little longer. And these days, people don't have time. They want results immediately. So when I cannot do traditional implants, I can then take and place some really long implants in certain areas on your top, so by the face. Usually we call them cheekbones. And then when we do that, we are now able to place some really long and give you some amazing results. So, you have to know how to strategically place implants where there is bone. And again, this is another reason why not do this kind of procedure. You need to specifically go to someone who knows what they're doing. Again, our place is a great institution for you to start. None of this is obviously cheap. It does cost us some money, but again, as I said, I have ways to make you guys afford it. If your goal is to get it working for you, I will make it work for you. Okay. So what are your next steps? We have a bunch of special offers for this month of January, but the first step is for you to show up to the practice to get evaluated by the doctor and the team. It's either going to be me or Dr. Divya. We are going to look at the CBCT scan, and then we will evaluate you. We will look at other x-rays and pictures, and then we'll come up with a plan for you. And if that plan works out, you can enjoy the best benefits possible. First of all, your consultation is not $500, it's only $99, and that includes your CBCT scan. And then you can receive up to $5,000 off your treatment only for the month of January. It doesn't happen every month, once in a while. So you have to ask yourself, what's stopping you? Why have you delayed this long enough? What's your future self showing you? Like, are you going to be like this, or you want to change your life? This is a brand new year. It's a brand new beginning. Your best smile and your best life can start now. Okay. Um, the phone number is right here. You guys can contact us at any point of time. You can also re-watch this video and reach out to us again. You don't need to be like this. Whoops. Okay. You can be like this every single day for the rest of your life. All you have to do is to make that change in your life. Then the first step is to make the phone call. Okay. I have a QR code for you guys. You can highlight the QR code and then probably click on it, and it'll give you directions and give you the next steps that you have to do. Okay. And thank you very much for listening to me for the last 15 minutes. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer right now. So if you want to chat, type it in the chat. I will absolutely answer it. So go ahead. Come on, guys. It was 15 full minutes. There has to be some questions. Does being diabetic stop me from doing this? No, it does not. However, I'd like your diabetes to be in control. So now I have to get it to control. So there are ways to do that, first of all. But the reason why I feel that you're diabetic to begin with is because you're missing a whole bunch of teeth. Okay. If you didn't miss all these teeth, you wouldn't be diabetic to begin with. I'm not saying you can't be, but the chances of you being diabetic will be lesser. When you are diabetic, what happens is you just eat anything that is easy to eat. And most of that is junk food. Okay. Rice and beans is not going to make it perfect for you. You need to have better food. Okay. And I think you can eat some good, healthy food once you have um, more like protein and proteinous food is a much better choice than having just regular rice and beans. Okay, so the question to answer your question, does diabetes stop you? No, it does not. Any other question? That's correct. If you are missing teeth, normally you're not able to eat and chew properly. And because you're not able to chew properly, just swallowing food, and you're going to probably find the easiest food for you to swallow. And that causes diabetes, just for you to know.
So while we're waiting for questions, Dr. Furman, the commonly asked questions in the consult room is like, how painful is this procedure, right? So that is something, pain is one of the things besides cost, it's also the fear of, getting the procedure done itself.
Well, right. So the thing is this, okay? So anything you do will be associated with some form of discomfort, but it's not going to be crazy pain. Like it's less pain than you getting a tooth extracted. Okay. So if you have a bunch of teeth I'm extracting and I'm going to stick an implant in that same exact spot, usually the pain's not so much. Will you be swollen? Absolutely, yes, you will be swollen. But the swelling is a good sign though. When you swell up first, that means all the good cells are coming out to heal it, which is what I want to see, and eventually heals. And as far as for your pain, we help you with plenty of good pain medications and antibiotics. So you should be totally fine. I don't see it's a problem.
So we have a bunch of questions here. How long is the recovery?
Normally, the maximum recovery time you need is a week, even for those very, very difficult procedures we do. So when we do implants on your cheek and stuff like that, that's a very hard procedure. Even for those guys, they are completely fine in about 5 days.
And the other question would be, is you have a question, if a person only has the upper top, would be the amount for the implant?
If have a question is what? Only have the upper top would be the amount for the implant. I didn't understand the question, Rosalind. So if you can rewrite that question for me, it'll be helpful.
The next question is, when can I go back to work?
I would say usually 4 or 5 days, which is why I said if you have a timeline constriction, we won't do your surgery on a Monday and have you take the whole week off. Or let's say your week off, your day off is maybe a Monday or a Tuesday. We can arrange it accordingly. We can do your surgery any day though. We're not restricted to doing your surgery only on a certain day. So that shouldn't be a problem. Ideally, 4 days should be good enough for you to go back to work.
The other question would be, do you guys put people to sleep? I'm so scared of pain.
Absolutely. If you need to be put to sleep, we can obviously have an anesthesiologist in-house and come in. We are a full service dental team, meaning that you will never have to leave our office for anything. Whether you come there for a simple cleaning or a root canal or braces or some high-end cosmetic dentistry or full mouth implant dentistry, we can do everything in our practice. We have a specialist for every particular field, and we even have in-house anesthesiologists. They can give you simple sedation and even knock you out completely. So basically, you'll sit in the chair, you go to sleep, you wake up 2 hours later with all the implants done, and you're done.
What type of materials do you use, such as porcelain? That's the next question.
Well, we use the best materials for your case. So I don't want you to believe just because there's this word called, okay, there's zirconia. I want zirconia is the best. Zirconia is not the best in the country or on the planet, just for you guys to know, okay? We will use whatever is necessary to use. We use very high-end titanium bars around which the zirconia is wrapped in. So it's much more durable, stronger, and it's more healthier for you, okay?
Do you offer free consultations? Is the biggest question there.
Um, Well, the consultation is free, but not your CBCT scan. You will still have to pay for that scan in order for me to evaluate you properly. Again, it's not like I can't just feel your jawbone and say, yeah, you can have implants. I want to be able to see it in a real scan. You would normally pay $495 to just get the scan. I do it for not. I do it for $99. It's almost nothing. The rest of the extras, obviously, we do that for free.
How do you use new technology to help patients who are afraid of pain, age, or dental implants?
Well, I already showed you we are way advanced than a regular dental office. Things that we do in our practice, others do not. From CBCT scans to digital scanning to having an in-house dental laboratory in practice, plus also being able to put you to sleep using advanced techniques like the implants, those long implants we are placing. These are not that you're going to see in every single office. This is very, very rare. Very few offices in New York even do these things. So I think if you decide to do this, we'll be the right office for it. Does the gap go away in time? If so, there is a roundabout timeline, etc. I don't know what gap you're talking about. If there is a gap between your your implants and your teeth and your gums, the first 2 3 months the gap is there because your gums are shrinking. But if you have a gap after your permanence given, the gap normally does not go away. You need to make a new prosthesis. So it depends on how much bone you've lost. And if you've lost bone, there are other medical conditions associated with it. That's what I can think of. I'm happy to look at you, and then maybe we can come up with a solution and say, okay, this is the best choice for you. Okay, I get the question again. My
So
question
from
is,
Rosalind
yeah.
is my question is if a person is only missing the upper teeth, would be the same price?
Well, it depends on what you need, though. So everybody is different, though. So I don't want you to think everybody's going to be paying $40,000 or $30,000. Maybe less, maybe more, depending on how tedious the work is. It's not for the number of implants you pay; it's how difficult the work is you pay for. Okay, the more difficult it is, the more bone I have to grow, the more technique sensitive it is, which means I have to employ special digital skills, or I got to get special people to do special guides for me. Those things cost money. I don't want you to think that Dr. Philemon takes your money and puts it in my pocket. I don't. I actually find the best solution for you, for which I need to talk to multiple people, involve multiple people, and those guys aren't doing the work for free. They all want to get paid too, and I think it's fair I pay them, and that's why it costs the money. Okay. What is the maintenance process like after getting implants? So, thank you. That's a very good question. So, the way we normally do is if you are getting dental implants, especially full mouth implants, I want you guys to go to your dentist for the first 2 years, every 3 months. And the purpose of doing this to see anything that's going to go wrong is going to go wrong in the first 3 to 6 to 9 months. So, if the more amount of time that you go to the dentist can actually capture if you can figure out the problem, and then he either fixes it or he replaces it. But you don't go to the dentist, you go to him one time after the first 3 months, and you don't go to him for a year, and then all of a sudden you have a problem. A million things could have happened from the third month to the year that you went back to him, and he doesn't know what caused the problem. So now, even if you try to fix it, there is no guarantee it's going to go right. And obviously, I also don't think it's fair for the dentist to have to take the hit when all you have to do was just maintain it. Imagine if you bought a brand new car or built a brand new house, you're going to have to fill oil regularly, or else you're going to have a problem. I know there are kids who buy their cars, their parents buy their cars from them. They don't even change oil. They have no concept of what to do, and they want their parents to do it. I mean, I'm only telling this because I am that example. I buy my child a car, and my child does not fill anything for his car. Anyway, it's just a joke. Go on. Let's.
The other thing is, if you have all bad teeth, would it be possible to have all of your teeth replaced?
Yes, you can
Absolutely.
in one day. Absolutely, yes. I would take out all of your teeth, and I would replace all of your teeth in one day. And you will probably walk out with teeth that day, the next day, or the following week, depending on how tedious the surgery was. Okay. If the surgery was too difficult, you're not having teeth the same day. I will try for the next day. If it's not possible, it's going to be the following week after your swelling comes down.
So, in other words, what we're trying to say is we actually cater to what each patient needs and also customize the plans in terms of, affordability and what they could pay.
Absolutely. So as long as you want to get this thing corrected, your first step is to make that appointment and come and see us. And then if I'm able to fix that for you, I will fix that for you. If I cannot fix that for you, I will send you the right person. But 99% of the problems I'm able to fix.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, guys, I think we spent a good 30 minutes doing this. The next step is right there for you. You need to call the practice, figure out how you can get this thing done. I have one last question.
What if I only want a whitening? I still need to do a CT scan?
It depends though. If you are only coming in for a whitening, you do not need a CT scan, but I will still need x-rays though. I'll need regular x-rays. I won't need CT scan.
How much does it cost you to replace my bad teeth? Replace all of my bad teeth?
I just don't know the answer for it, my friend, because as I said, in order for me to diagnose and treatment plan you, I'll need that CBCT scan. I have to look at it myself. Okay. But it can be anything. It can be $10,000, it can be $50,000, it can be $20,000. I don't know. I don't know the number, but I will give you a proper number. And more than giving you a proper number, I will educate you on what is the best solution for you. Hopefully, whatever I give you will be the best choice and you will do fine. Guys, it was a pleasure talking to all of you. I hope to see you guys again in the next meeting. These are pretty much uploaded on our YouTube site, so you can pretty much go and watch it over and over again, get all your questions answered. If you have still more questions, always contact the office. My girls are amazing. They're always there to help, and they will absolutely give you the best advice. Okay? Very good luck to all of you. Enjoy your Saturday. Bye-bye.